Christopher Gibbons, 38, and Tyrone Patton Walsh, 34, were both found guilty of encouraging acts of terrorism on Friday, following a trial at Kingston Crown Court. In one chilling episode, the neo-Nazi podcast duo condemned Prince Harry and Meghan Markle as a mixed-race relationship. The pair said that the couple's son Archie was an abomination that should be put down. Gibbons and Patton Walsh, who denied 8 counts of encouraging acts of terrorism, were found guilty and now face jail time. Each charge was related to a different podcast episode. They have both been remanded in custody and await sentencing on 26 September. The two hosted a far-right extreme neo-Nazi podcast titled Black Wolf Radio, where they regularly launched homophobic, racist, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic and misogynistic rants. In one episode focused on their view of mixed-race marriages, Gibbons said Archie's dad, Prince Harry, should be prosecuted and judicially killed for treason. Each charge relating to a different podcast episode. The podcast often encouraged their listeners to commit violence, prompting an investigation by the Metropolitan Police. They produced 21 podcast episodes in total, gaining almost 1,000 subscribers and 152,000 listens. The Counter-Terrorism Command found that some of the content breached terrorism legislation, leading to the pair being arrested in May 2021 and charged on 16 August that year. Their vile attack on Harry and Meghan's 4-year-old child was not the only shocking content that the jury heard about. The Sikh duo also endorsed the murder of Labour MP Jo Cox in 2016 and hailed the 2019 shooting spree in Christchurch, New Zealand, which killed 51 people at 2 mosques. They also made vile remarks about the victims of the Manchester Arena bombing. Gibbons also went on trial for 2 counts of dissemination of terrorist publications after he had created a radicalization library. He uploaded hundreds of extreme right-wing texts and material, including more than 500 extreme speeches and propaganda documents. During the trial, prosecutor Anne White QC said of the defendants are dedicated and unapologetic white supremacists. She said, they thought that if they used the format of a radio show, as good as In Plain Sight, they could pass off their venture as the legitimate exercise of their freedom of speech. Don't miss. Airport to become first to get rid of hated 100 ml liquid travel rule, latest. Young man dies after plane plunges into field as photos show mangled wreckage, latest. L. Edwards killer heckled as scumbag as Hess sentenced to minimum 48 years, latest. In fact what they were doing was using language designed to encourage others to commit acts of extreme right-wing terrorism against the sections of society that these defendants hated. Speaking after the sentence was passed, Commander Dominic Murphy said, Gibbons and Patton Walsh thought that the fact they were airing their hateful views and advocating terrorist acts in plain sight, on a radio and podcast platform, somehow gave them some legitimacy and meant they wouldn't face any consequences. They were wrong, and both our investigation and a jury has found that they sought to encourage terrorism in how they expressed their abhorrent extreme right-wing views. During the course of the investigation, detectives reviewed hundreds of hours of material, and the result of their work was the compelling case that was presented at court which has resulted in their convictions.